everyone, Tracy here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. So, hopefully, you guys had a wonderful 4th of July. I'm sure you guys all enjoyed the fireworks. And I don't know what you guys did. We had a small barbecue over at our house, at my house. My aunt and uncle were over, my brother, my sister in law, the two kids, and with my parents. So it was pretty nice. And but where we used to get firework all the time, where our city would be like known for one of the best fireworks displays and shows out there. And for whatever reason, they kind of stopped. So our whole city has taken it upon themselves, like all the local residents just kind of blow off their own stuff, even though technically in Illinois it's illegal to do that. Our city kind of has taken it upon themselves to do their own firework display. So, and it was actually a lot of fun to kind of watch just like local people just throwing off fireworks and stuff like that. So, but yeah, unfortunately, we had to if we wanted to actually see like a real firework show, we had to travel and go to another city because our city doesn't do that anymore. We used to have a really good one too, and we also had used to have a festival and things like that, and carnival rides and all that good stuff. And gosh, I kind of miss those days. I remember taking my nieces to that, and it's kind of a bummer. Anyway, our pets, we like the fireworks, and there's a lot of, even some people like, have PTSD and they can't handle the loud noises and it scares them, and it really, especially if there's like any veterans and things like that, or any people, with PTSD or really bad anxiety or even sensory disorders. These fireworks, they're beautiful, but they're super loud. And, I've been very grateful that my pets, my dogs and my cats really are not affected by the fireworks. Now, before I actually became doing holistic health, I was actually a nurse, and because I always loved, to be quite honest, I always wanted to be a veterinarian. And I found out that I like working with animals, but not on them. And so my aunt was a dog, well, she still is. She's a dog trainer and she's very good at it. And I started actually working under her, and I started taking like a lot of different workshops and certifications and like all these different things to become, to start doing dog training. And so I was working as a nurse and as a dog trainer at the same time for quite some time. And I absolutely loved it. And the fireworks, it was very, very hard to help, the dogs and the cats with such loud noises. And a lot of owners would turn around and turn to a whole bunch of medications like trazodone and things like that for their dog to kind of knock them out because they didn't know how to help their dog. There's certain things that can desensitize dogs, like certain training things that can help with that. It takes time. You could try thunder shirts and feel away and, some essential oils and things like that to kind of relax the animal. But a lot of times it's not enough. And the dog gets very, very stressed out and is very scared. And so the owner turns to medications for the pets. And me being into holistic health and getting certified in quantum nutrition testing for pets, and actually I was doing muscle testing on my own pets for quite some time before I even got certified in quantum nutrition testing for pets. I was doing muscle testing for my own pets for years with really good results. But now that I'm a little bit more educated in holistic health, and now that I do muscle testing for pets, one of my patients actually brought, and I do it all virtual with them. Her dog, she's a patient of mine, and she actually brings her, I see virtually her pet too. And she's like, "Can you do anything for my pup? He gets so stressed out." And she goes, "I don't want to give him medication." And I he had a whole bunch of allergies and a lot of skin issues, and we finally are getting that under control. He doesn't need steroids, and a lot of the skin issues, just like it is in people, a lot of skin issues and a lot of allergies is actually a deeper underlying thing. And usually it's either gut, like intestines, that kind of thing, or like gut, meaning it could be the liver or the gallbladder. It could even be the kidneys, because if your kidneys and your liver can't process toxins or eliminate toxins very well, the body's going to find out other ways to remove those toxins from your body. And the skin is being one of them. So a lot of people and animals that have a lot of allergies, skin allergies or skin irritations, it's the body's trying to detox, and it is one of the major detoxing organs is congested. It might have normal labs. It doesn't mean it's functioning optimally. And so with her dog, who had a whole bunch of allergies, we found that it was the liver, and there was an overabundance of histamine, which, by the way, your liver and your kidneys help to break down histamine. And if it can't break down histamine, guess what you have? You get allergic reactions, skin allergies, asthma, chronic inflammation, and just things like that. So her dog's liver was her main culprit. And parasites and toxins, I believe, were. I'm not looking at the chart, so I can't remember. I believe parasites and toxins were coming up, maybe fungus. And so we started working on that, and her dog stopped needing, steroid medications. The skin started clearing up and things like that. Well, we did so much good progress with her dog that when 4th of July came around, she's like, "I don't want to give him medication," because just like people, it's a lot of psych meds, which trazodone is, a lot of psych meds are very, very harsh on the liver. And we just started cleaning up her dog's liver and getting his allergies under control. And she's just like, "I don't want him to have any setbacks." I said, "Okay." So I was able to muscle test using quantum nutrition testing. I was able to test her dog 2 days prior to the 4th of July. And he was testing for 3 things: Fields of Flowers, a homeopathic from Energetics, which I absolutely love; N3 Relaxa, which helps just kind of calm down the nervous system and just kind of like supports the parasympathetic nervous system and adrenals and all that good stuff. So love N3 Relaxa. And then he was also testing for core valerian. So valerian root. So a lot of people don't realize this. Valium is actually made from valerian root. Most medications have some sort of stemmed from a plant somewhere, and then they just added a whole bunch of toxins to it and a whole bunch of chemicals. So Valium is actually stemmed from valerian root. But what's nice about valerian root is you don't have all the nasty side effects that you do from Valium, because Valium has chemicals, and a whole bunch of other things. It's synthetic, it's lab created, and it's got a whole bunch of other things other than the valerian root. So he tested really well for valerian root and core valerian. It's a liquid supplement from what's kind of unique about this too, by the way, quantum nutrition testing. So there's a couple different forms of valerian root that I have. One from a company called MediHerb, which I absolutely love MediHerb. And then a liquid form from a company called Energetics. And what's kind of nice is when we quantum nutrition test you, we can find out which brand and which formula is going to be the best one. Maybe your body wants liquid. Maybe it can process liquid better than it can tablets. Or maybe it does need tablets versus liquids. So that's kind of what's nice. So anyway, we were able to pinpoint her dog's which one her dog needed, and her dog tested for core valerian. So between the 3 supplements, So core valerian, N3 relaxa, and fields of flowers. Her dog was, by Saturday, was out like was able to actually sleep through. So was doing okay on the 4th, was doing really well because, they still have a lot of fireworks, on Saturday too, and much relaxed and was actually sleeping, she told me. So, which was fantastic. And so instead of using harmful medications that can cause a whole bunch of side effects that can build up toxins in the body, we use natural things that work with the body and not against it. And her dog was able to actually have a relaxed, like a somewhat relaxing 4th of July. It still was a little stressful. And we wound up, I re-muscle tested um, and up the dose. And when we upped the dose on things, that seemed to help out tremendously. So, and it's just again finding the right combination, which quantum nutrition testing allows. It allows us to find the right combination of supplements for the individual and exactly how much that individual needs of each supplement, not just what the bottle says. So it's pretty cool and it gets pretty specific. So yeah. And the owner was able to be a little bit less stressed this 4th of July. The dog was able to be relaxed and things like that. Um, if your dog is having issues with the 4th and other loud noises, Victoria Stillwell, she's a positive reinforcement dog trainer, which I absolutely love. She has like a loud noises DVD or CD, no, DVD, no, not DVD. Oh my goodness, like CD, like series or whatever. And you slowly can desensitize them to like city noises, fireworks, thunderstorms, and things like that. So, and you slowly desensitize them so that way when the actual storm or the fireworks come about, they're not so scared. And it's probably going to take a good couple months of consistently doing this, but and she gives like a full explanation. So if you know anybody who has a dog or an animal that's very afraid of loud noises or thunderstorms or city noises or fireworks, you might want to check into Victoria Stillwell. And she has, like I said, a CD series or whatever to help desensitize your pet. So you might want to look into that. But yeah, that was freaking amazing. Was so excited for her dog. And I just have to share, I was very excited about one of my patients. She's not done with the 3 months, almost, not quite. She came in with scleroderma. And if anybody knows what scleroderma is, or if you don't know what scleroderma is, it is an autoimmune disease. So, and Western medicine says that an autoimmune disease is when the body attacks itself. So, and something is going wonky with the immune system. And so the immune system attacks its own body. No, no, and no. That's not the case at all. Your body was never designed to attack itself. Your immune system is just on overdrive trying to clean up the system and trying to get rid of what's causing all the inflammation in the first place. So, this patient was coming up for parasites, heavy metals, and glyphosates, and came in with scleroderma. System survey, which is a series of questions, and the patient actually like rates themselves. 0 is the best score, meaning you have no symptoms. So we want your symptom survey score to be a 0. Okay, we don't want you to have symptoms. So, and when she first came to us, she was scoring herself at an 83. She had joint stiffness, muscle weakness. I met her only once, and I met her at a holistic event in Wisconsin. And little bitty thing, frail, was using a walker, and she was desperate for help. And Western medicine wasn't really giving her the results. It was basically, well, this is what you're going to have for the rest of your life, and we can only manage your symptoms. And chances are they're going to get worse. Scleroderma can have a wide variety of symptoms, including liver, gut, kidney issues, lung issues, I think even cardiovascular. So it can cause it can affect multiple organs. For her, it was causing a lot of joint pain, stiffness, and inflammation and muscle weakness. Those were her biggest things. And she didn't want to lose mobility. She was afraid of losing mobility. And within less than 3 months, her repeat system survey score went from 83 down to 3. 83 down to 3. I'm like, oh my goodness. That was even such a shock to me. And then her symptoms, like her the stiffness, the muscle weakness, and everything else had over an like about an 85% improvement. So when I averaged the two of the things together, she had roughly about an 82% improvement of her overall symptoms in less than 3 months. And this is an autoimmune disease where doctors tell you that there's no cure for autoimmune, that you're going to have to be on immune suppressants and you're going to have to be on this medication for the rest of your life. I don't know. I've had people with autoimmune vascular issues, Hashimoto's, and now scleroderma, and they're getting results. So beg the question, why? Why do you have your symptoms? Your body just doesn't wake up one morning and say, I don't feel like functioning. That's not the case, guys. There's always an underlying reason. And most of the time it gets missed why Western medicine practices, making you a difficult case. Well, we don't know why you have your symptoms, but here, have a pill. Or, oh, like they did with me, I had psoriasis and eczema. Well, actually, they said atopic dermatitis. We don't know why you have why you have your skin issues. There's no underlying issue, so it must be an autoimmune. It was an autoimmune. I had parasites in my liver. That's what was actually going on. So there's always an underlying reason. So beg the question of why. If you would like help finding out the why, then please give us a call, 708-694-4092. We would love to discuss any questions that you may have and see if what we do is a good fit for you. Have a good day. Bye, guys.